Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back, listeners, to the Political Education for Freedom podcast. I'm Nitra, and today we're diving into the untold stories of Black literature. We're revealing the secrets, the untold stories, the controversies, and the groundbreaking moments that shaped our history, from Baldwin to Du Bois, from Hurston to Morrison. Get ready for a journey through time, uncovering the hidden truths of Black literary giants. But today we're talking about literature, Black literature. Let's dive into the world of James Baldwin, a writer who not only captured the essence of Black experience in America, but also challenged and redefined it. Baldwin's voice resonated with truth that was as unyielding as it was poetic. James Baldwin, of course, a name that echoes through the corridors of Black literature. In an interview with the Paris Review in 1984, so I wasn't born yet. Okay. Baldwin said, "You write in order to change the world." His novel, Giovanni's Room, broke barriers with his bold exploration of sexuality, a move that sparked controversy in both the Black and white communities. Y'all know. Okay, we ain't gonna say much about that. Baldwin's fearless honesty in addressing race and identity made him both a literary icon and a subject of debate. His commentary on America's racial landscape was both deeply personal and universally resonant. He once stated in Notes of a Native Son, and I think I have all James Baldwin books, maybe most of them anyway. So, Notes of a Native Son, he says, "I love America more than any other country in the world. And exactly for this reason, I insist on the right to criticize her perpetually." This encapsulates Baldwin's nuanced view of his homeland, a place he loved deeply but also criticized for its persistent racial injustices. That comment there is actually one that, it actually resonates now, even more now with social media. And to me, some people may not like this, but I think that when a lot of people comment or criticize certain people and certain things and just everything that kind of just happening broadly, I think it is some of that. It's because, I am you, or I am a part of you, that I have the right to criticize you perpetually. I think that people should do that with their government. I mean, I think you should do that, just in general, but we're seeing it a lot more now with social media. His experience as a Black man in America was marked by the stark contrast between the nation's ideals of freedom and the harsh reality of systemic racism, particularly embodied by the Jim Crow laws. In the same 1984 interview with the Paris Review, Baldwin also expressed a profound delusionment, saying, "It comes as a great shock to discover that the flag to which you have pledged allegiance has not pledged allegiance to you." We are seeing that even more and more today than I would think before, not because situations was happening back, not because more situations are happening now than it was before, but because a lot of the situations are now more on display. And so back then we probably didn't see the reaction or every little reaction someone had to a comment or about a situation. Now we can see everything that everybody is thinking all the time. And so especially when dealing politically in politics right now, they are basically just openly outright saying that no, America is not pledging allegiance to black people. I mean, there are some politicians that are actively running on that message, probably on that message alone. So and so it's something that I think, even though he made that comment in 1984, I mean, shoes. 1984. Oh, that was before I was born. But I mean, I guess a lot of what America was doing then, America is still doing now. So this statement reflects black folks' personal journey of realizing that despite our allegiance to America, the country did not afford us the same respect and rights due to the color of our skin. Baldwin's life in America was a testament to the ongoing struggle for equality and recognition in a society that was reluctant to acknowledge its own flaws. Baldwin's views often put him at odds with other prominent leaders of his time. His disagreements with figures like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King were well known. He shared their goals of racial equality and justice. His approach was distinct, and this is, of course, a trend that I see often during this time or during this period of the civil rights era, the time of the 60s or so. It seems as if everyone did have the same goals. It's just everyone had a different route to get there, and everyone, had different approaches to it. So while he shared their goals of racial equality and justice, his approach was distinct. He was critical of Malcolm X's early separatist views and King's pacifist methods, advocating instead for a more nuanced understanding of racial issues. He believed in confronting the uncomfortable truths of American society, insisting that change required acknowledging the deep-stated prejudices and systemic barriers faced by African Americans. Something that I agree with. We need to talk about it. We need to confront it. The uncomfortable parts, if we try to ignore it, that's basically just giving this country and the people in it a free pass. We're not doing anything by avoiding confrontation. For example, he expressed in an interview his nuanced view of the civil rights movement, stating, "I can be a pessimist because I'm alive. To be a pessimist means that you have agreed that human life is an academic matter. So I'm forced to be an optimist. I'm forced to believe that we can survive whatever we must survive." Well, I applaud his optimism. He kept a perspective of humanity. And that is what is missing today. People are not, we don't see each other as each other. The limited reactions we have with each other makes it even, just puts up a even bigger barrier. And this is another trend. We were talking about oh my gosh, and make sure I edit that out. So the last time we were talking about Anna Julia Cooper and her requesting that students learn not just reading, writing, math, and arithmetic, but also spirituality. And he brought in that part of education by agreeing that human life is an academic matter. So his perspective contrasts with Malcolm X's more radical stance, especially in his earlier years. Malcolm X in his speeches, like the Ballad of the Bullet, emphasized a more confrontational approach to achieving racial justice, stating, it's liberty or it's death. It's freedom for everybody or freedom for nobody. I do remember that speech. And that sounds, it sounds similar to Fannie Lou Hamer, who said, your freedom is shackled and chained to mine. And until I am free, you are not free either. That is the truth. Another wish of mine, wish all black people understood that. We are moving further and further away from that thought process, but also while we are moving further away from that thought process, we are becoming more closely shackled and chained together because of that. And that's something we're going to have to deal with, or we may end up finding ourselves in chains again. Some of us are right now. Remember, there is a prison industrial complex. Yes, it is. And we'll talk about that too, because, it's a lot that goes into that. So meanwhile, Martin Luther King Jr., known for his commitment to nonviolence, often spoke about the power of love and peaceful protest. Of course, in his speech, I have a dream, this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of his creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, whatever. Everybody knows that speech. But I bet they don't know that I've been to the mountaintop speech. Oh, man. That speech there. That was a different Martin. That letter from a Birmingham jail was also a different Martin. Jail will make you think like that. It will, though. It really will. Baldwin's position was more about philosophical and existential optimism. Malcolm initially advocated for a more assertive stance against racial oppression. And then you had King that promoted a vision of racial harmony through nonviolent means. Their differing views contributed to a rich and complex discourse on the best path forward for the civil rights movement. That is some of the when you have a lot of opposing sides and opinions on different things, that is when some of the most deepest thought occurs. That's when our brains, the muscle in our brains, are really, really stretched to, a little bit beyond its limits, or